Hello, good evening. I don't know if any of you have managed to join me tonight, but welcome if you have. If not, I shall be putting this, recording it and putting it back out. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of experimenting for you on these two papers that I prepared not last week, but the week before. And I'll come back to these in a second. I wonder if anybody last week saw my Tuesday's art tips and actually tried something new. If you did, let me know. It'd be good to know what you tried. That was my challenge. My art tips for the week was just to challenge you to do something new and maybe grab a new medium. If you normally work on canvas, do something on paper and try out something that you hadn't done before. So this one was Dale Rowney turquoise, and this is an acrylic ink, and I got some paper towel and I tried to take some off and it smudged in places, but that was fine. So that was the effect of the acrylic ink, and you can obviously still see the other colours coming up through it. So this is again the same colour as turquoise, but it's India ink. And India ink, I used this pipette to put it down, and it does tend to stay in a straight line as it falls, and it does take quite a while to dry. I had to do with a hairdryer. And then what the good thing is whatever you've got left in the nozzle, you can squeeze it out and get these lovely splatters at the end. I think that's really, really nice. But one thing to remember about when you use India ink, once it's down, it's down. And even if you put a paper towel on it, you're not going to get much off at all, because it does take straight away. It's archival. Once it's on there, it's on there. So if you're going to do anything with India inks, I would just say make that sort of like the last thing, or one of the last things that you're going to do, because once you put it down, you can see that you can't see through that ink. You can't see the other colours coming through. So as a little experiment to see how the two differ, we're going to put down some white acrylic paint on both of these. So we're going to start off with, just get some out of there. I'm going to put some on this sponge. And just to say as well, with this, I think I did spray it with water before I put the ink down as well, so that it would actually spread out and go everywhere, and so it didn't just stay in one place. So I have this butterfly that I've cut out, and if I put it down, hold it there, if I dab around, hopefully I'll be left with a butterfly in the middle. If you haven't seen my videos from last week, feel free to go back and take a look. Coppins Farm was a find. Really amazing place, really quiet in Alphamstone in Suffolk. And they were converted or restored showman's wagons. And oh, I can't tell you how lovely it was there. So let's take that away. So that's quite nice, I think. Let's try on this one. So these are not artworks in themselves. These are papers that I'm preparing, collage papers, so that when I do bigger pieces or even a smaller piece, if there's a part of this I like, I will rip it up and use it and stick it on another piece. I don't always use paper entirely over my art, but I do like using paper because I think it just adds an extra dimension and interest, because it's got, when you've prepared your collage papers, it's got so many layers to it before you stick it down, so it's really gonna bring something when you add it to your piece. And obviously whatever you're doing, you might paint a background first, then you put this on top. Right, okay, so I'm going to go with this one. And I'll just bring them up for you to have a closer look. And this one. So just in case you didn't know, because you haven't seen the previous videos, everything that I put down was, before these inks, previously was acrylic paint. Whether I rolled it, stenciled it, whatever I done was acrylic paint. And can you see these tiny little squares there? I've tried to pick some of the detail up on that by using a metallic grey pencil, so that works quite nice. So I shall let these dry before I add anything else or do anything more with them. I'm going to use the sponge, but I'm not going to, as like my applicator, but I'm not going to use the sponge on the paper. So at some point I will use these papers, and when I do, I will let you know, and then you can see them in the final piece, because they might end up in 2 or 3 pieces of art. So I'm going to just run it down the spine of this coffee cup holder. And let's put this one here. Try to remember where the paint is. Could actually get my brayer and roll that across. That would be a good idea. So quite like that. Don't know if that last piece came out here. So let's try there. Yeah, it came right at the end there. So hopefully this is just giving you some ideas how to make some different patterns and get some different layers on some papers if you were going to make some mixed media art. And the beauty of this is that once it's down, once it's stuck, you can always add more to it later, but I find it's better to do as much as you can before you stick it on, because then you don't end up spoiling the whole piece of paint around, you know, fiddling with things like this. Let me just lift this up for you to have a closer look. There you go. So we don't want anybody to be able to read the writing behind. That was just there to add in interest, and so that's not a problem. It was just there as an extra bit of pattern going on. And that's that one. So what I'm thinking I might do is, once this is dry, which it is. I think I might come in with a darker colour with blue. Yeah, and do that around there. So if you just bear with me 2 minutes, let's give that a go and see what that looks like. 2 seconds, let me get some blue. This is blue turquoise. Still got some white on this, so I'll just wipe the excess off on here. Yeah, I think actually adding the blue in is better, because it just makes that butterfly stand out a lot more, I think. So hopefully you've learned a few things tonight to give you some ideas to get going on. Save your coffee cup holders next time you go and have a coffee. And yes, hopefully I'll see you next Tuesday at the same time at 6 o'clock. Please send me some comments or questions. I would love to hear from you. That would be great. Okay, take care everyone. Night.